Where would we be without our boss?
Let's go! Happy National Bosses Day, everybody.
Yes, we
From
actually...
earlier in this year.
Yeah, we don't know when
No.
Bosses Day are. We're not actually talking about our job bosses.
Oh.
Today we're talking about video game bosses and particularly Nintendo's best. Now we're not going Pantendo, not just appearing. It's got to be first party.
All right. And we have arranged the top 10, all, surprisingly, tied for first place. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
They're so good.
We were just too lazy to argue about which one was the best.
Yep.
So, what we got?
We are going to start with Wind Waker's Ganon.
Mm.
Now, this was a cartoonish style Zelda game. Very criticized for how it looked at first, but people grew to love it because it had great gameplay, great levels, cool mechanics, and it's very surprising to get to this last boss, and you have not done it yet, have you? So it's one of the few Zelda games I've experienced that you haven't.
All I know is that you stab him in the face.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, this cute game with cartoony graphics just led to this extremely violent, probably the most violent Nintendo boss battle ever.
Probably. Now, next up is, and you're going to see Zelda a couple more times on this list, because, I mean, what can you say? Zelda has fantastic bosses.
I knew I need not put this one on the list.
Because you knew that I was going to put it on there.
That's right.
Of course, STALLORD from Twilight Princess, if not the best, one of the best Zelda bosses.
Remind me why it's so good. Your memory's better than mine.
Okay, first off is it uses the spinner, which is a really cool item. Basically only used in this dungeon and a couple other places and sprinkled throughout the game.
Yeah.
Temple of Time and whatnot. But you use the spinner. He's really cool looking. He basically looks like an undead dragon.
Yeah.
And then you bust up his spine. And then once you bust up his spine, you think you've killed him. And then he becomes that floating head that you gotta jump back and forth between the walls. And he
Do the
shoots the
STALLORD,
fireballs.
everybody,
Yeah.
do the STALLORD.
Do the STALLORD.
Woo!
And then you slash the sword that's in his head, and it's just an awesome battle, awesome boss, awesome.
I gotcha. Next, we have Dark Samus from Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. This was the height of Dark Samus coolness. Always pretty cool.
Yes.
Struck fear in your heart whenever you come across her path, but this was the ultimate confrontation. And she was really overpowered.
Yes.
She had really cool somersaults. Who knew that slow motion somersaults could be so intimidating and amazing? And it was a great culmination to the trilogy.
You're basically inside a giant planet of poison.
Right.
And you gotta first... Wait, do you fight Samus first and then the giant brain thing? Or is it the giant brain thing and then you fight Samus? Do you remember?
Yep. And next...
Next, we have from Super Metroid, Mother Brain, an iconic boss battle. All of the boss battles in Super Metroid are pretty great, pretty memorable, yes. But you got to give it to Mother Brain, not just for the battle itself being fun, but for the iconic moments. The baby Metroid coming in and sucking Mother Brain's brain dry, and then dying to give you awesome rainbow lasers. And then, of course, the post-log, is that what it's called?
Sure.
Epilogue. Afterwards, where you're running out so that the planet doesn't blow up with you on it. Iconic boss battle and a lot of fun.
One of those rare 16-bit cinematics. Now, Metroid Prime from Metroid Prime. The final battle in the original game, just fantastic. I had no idea that the boss battle would be so big in scope.
Yeah.
Like, it was a great game, but that just pushed Metroid Prime over the edge to be, like, Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Video game.
I agree. And if I can tack onto this, maybe an 11th honorable mention, Metroid from Metroid Prime. I didn't want it to overflow with just Metroid and Zelda. We have, I think, one other... Oh, no, two other series represented.
All right.
But Meta Ridley was great. Metroid Prime, though, you used everything.
Yeah, and you really felt so powerful with what was called Hyper Beam?
I think it was the Hyper Beam, yeah.
Man, oh man.
It was so cool. A Link to the Past, Ganon, the last fight.
Yep.
I love this one because even if you're like fully powered, you still have to be careful, and it's still a scary fight. Once again, all of the boss battles in A Link to the Past were great, all of them memorable, and it's fun going in because it's not always obvious how to defeat the enemy. Like, my second time through the game, I'd already beaten it. I got to the boss on Turtle Rock where it's the two dragons, the Ice Dragon and the Fire Dragon, and I died probably about 10 or 11 times because I forgot how to beat it. You got to hit it with the rod and then beat it up. But Ganon was fantastic. Fantastic end to the game. Great final boss battle. Very difficult too.
I liked what you said about you have to be careful. I think that's a mark of a good boss battle because so many Nintendo boss battles are 3 hits in the glowing, shining, blinking. Exactly. That when it gets to be a boss battle like this where it takes so much skill and coordination and attempts.
Yes.
That's good. And that's what I was really worried about with Breath of the Wild. I was like, there's so many different ways to power up in this game and to ensure your safety in death, like food and fairies and all that. I was like, how are they going to balance this? And they didn't. So that's really something that sticks out about the older games like A Link to the Past.
That's right.
Next up, Melee was the first one where Crazy Hand appeared, right?
Yes.
Super Smash Bros. Melee, we have Crazy Hand. Seeing Crazy Hand for the first time for me was nuts because we had Master Hand.
Yeah.
And, he'd be like, but Crazy Hand, I had no idea there was another half, but it made so much sense. You're like, of course, there's another hand, but it's cool. He was like the evil brother.
He's all wispy, twispy.
Right.
Having a seizure.
And when you see that, you're like, oh, I'm in trouble. There's 2 of them. This guy has lost his mind.
Now, I don't know if you remember this, but back when Melee was first out and we noticed that there was a Crazy Hand, we proposed that there was a Master Face or Master Head. I don't know if you remember that.
Or Master Person?
Yeah, Master Person. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But like a head would appear and stuff. We're like, that's probably going to be in the next game. And we got Taboo, which is, I guess, kind of like Master Person.
Taboo was great.
But Master Core, I mean, it's essentially what we predicted.
Right.
Hard read. We have from Super Mario RPG so many great boss battles. I almost wanted to put Smithy, which is the final boss battle.
I know, this is hard for you.
Yes, but I picked CULEH just because it's such an interesting boss battle. It's a fun boss battle. It's basically a Final Fantasy character with the 4 elemental crystals from the Final Fantasy games, and you have to defeat this giant, shadowy, evil demon sort of thing with these 4 crystals that are also attacking you.
Yep.
And it's so difficult, and it's so random, and it's so great. If you haven't experienced this battle, one of the best hidden boss battles ever.
And the last Zelda boss we have on here, Demise from Skyward Sword. I loved this boss battle because for once you get to the end of a Zelda game and it's not Ganondorf strictly.
No.
He is really cool, very intimidating looking, and oh man, I love this guy, but what's his name? The long tongue.
Girahim.
Sheesh. Girahim has been built up as the villain in this game, but then Demise just completely abuses him, and you're like, oh man, now I'm in for trouble. And you were in a very beautiful environment.
Yes.
Reflective water.
That was the best part of it.
And it used the Skyward Sword mechanic itself in a really good way, and I love that when a game makes like its core mechanic come full circle and enhances it and uses it in a creative way.
Every once in a while in this game, I needed to use Fee's help because I was stuck. And this was one of them, the final boss battle. I died at least once, and I'm like,
There was no throwing a fishing pole to beat this final boss.
No, you had to use your wits, and it was great. not necessarily a final boss battle, so to speak, but another honorable mention that I can't, without a good conscience, not mention it, or with a good conscience, not mention it.
Right.
Is the Nebula from Excite Truck.
Yes.
Being so great as a final level, one of Nintendo's greatest levels. I guess you can't call it a boss battle.
Oh, well.
Whatever. It's special enough to be mentioned. Lastly, I want to mention Super Mario Galaxy's Bouldergeist. One of the most difficult levels in Mario history is the Bouldergeist Prankster Comet, where you only have one hit. You can only be hit. Well, even if you get hit one time, you're dead.
That prankster
is so difficult, so fun. Just remember playing it over and over again, and it being a challenging battle. And once again, you can't level up. You can't die a bazillion times and then get an easy pass. This one was always one hit, death, over and over and over again until you get it, and then it's so satisfying.
Thank you, our friends who watched to the end of the video. Thanks for being a part of the crew.
Don't forget to leave your comments below about what your favorite first-party Nintendo bosses are.
See you guys next time.
Signing out.